But they are going to let the reserve time tick down quite a bit. They won't be able to fall back to that TA that we love seeing Armel on for this game, and
Oh,
they'll go into the Brewmaster again. Now we saw this combination yesterday, the Phoenix Brewmaster. It's pretty disgusting to have to play against. Of
yeah.
course, KP played it every game yesterday, and he was doing God's work on that hero, John, just making all kinds of chaos in the team fights. And in all honesty, like you look at this draft so far, Kunkka Phoenix Brewmaster, like how do you even fight into a team like that?
Mm. It's tricky. You don't quite have the best burst here. Neither do you have, the hardest control, though Beastmaster is a pretty good solution
Right.
to the brew. I think that's going to be Adroit's main target. We've seen this yesterday, as you mentioned. KP play this non-stop, and it is devastating when it does get kind of free reign to be chaotic and disruptive. Adroit has to be very careful about ignoring that brew. It's going to have to be their priority, and that does mean you might be looking for a blink from the Beastmaster down the line just to help you secure that kill, because by the time KP pops his ult, your fight's broken up. You're not going to be able to focus down on the targets you want. The egg will probably go off for free in the background as well. So there's a lot of things now working for TNC's draft, and I think it is shaping up nicely. These are all tanky heroes.
Mm.
You don't have the best of burst from Adroit. They're gonna need to fill in that gap there.
It really is like, what do you focus down? Right? That's the main question. When you start that team fight, who are you actually focusing? Uh, Only time will tell. And even if it's going to be like something like, if you're going to choose to pick on the egg of all things,
Ooh.
Adroit, they pick up a Dazzle. I was talking about how there's too much to really focus on here for TNC Predator, but now you've got a lot of sustain here from Adroit. We've seen what the Dazzle can do, especially if it does reach that late game stage where it hits level 18. Its cooldowns are kind of ridiculously low. It just sustains its heroes the whole game. It's a strong pick, John, but you've got to really get it to that point where it kind of becomes a little broken.
Yeah, it takes a while to cook that up, and Adroit did run this yesterday, up against Reality Rift. They did pick that up to great effect. It was specifically the Beastmaster Dazzle again coming out.
Right.
So I think it's gonna be a Bensoy Dazzle, and we're gonna see, I think, Mac on the Beastmaster. That's how they tend to do it. But TNC straight to the Shaker.
Ooh.
That's a great response to this, and you have so much value because Adroit pick up the Enigma as well. So there's a lot of big Echo Slams that could come out, and a lot of creeps to really feed off of. TNC going all in on a sort of wombo combo lineup already. I think that is pretty strong. There are a lot of ways to make that work. There's a lot of counterplay potential from Adroit, particularly with the Tusk, but you're talking about blink on the Tusk for snowball saves. That tends to take a while. I have to say the Enigma coming out here does put a bit of a question mark over my head, because you've got the Beastmaster, Dazzle, Enigma. All of these heroes we tend to see in like the off lane role, except for Dazzle on safe. But this does kind of make Adroit's lineup look really greedy in terms of EXP scaling.
It does appear that way, and they will finish off with the Weaver now, but I've got to say, how lucky are we to start off with a draft like this from both teams? Like, we've got an Echo Slam, we've got a Phoenix Egg, we've got a Kunkka Boat, we've got the Brewmaster Split, we've got the Enigma Black. I mean, it just never ends, right? We've got so
Mm,
many things going on in this game already. So many ways to come back into the game if things go wrong, right? But both sides.
mm.
Just one decent team fight could turn it the other way pretty much instantly for either side, depending on who does fall behind. And Adroit, they do finish it off with the Weaver. Slippery hero to end this off. We've seen the Weaver quite a bit over yesterday. I
Mm.
think we saw it 2 or 3 times, maybe even more than that. It did look pretty potent if it was built correctly in terms of item builds. Obviously, it needs a bit of farm. But once you get that Desolator up on the Weaver, he kind of becomes a little broken. You can opt for the Diffusal build as well, if you want to be just kind of annoying on that Weaver. But overall now, TNC, their final pickup to finish off this draft, we are still missing their POS 1. So Gabby needs his hero. So I do believe that will be a Kunkka mid now. And TNC, they'll go into the PO. I can see why you go down that route, right? Like, it's just, You're going to force the Beastmaster to go into the Axis build as well, because he's up against an Illusion Hero, who is going to have some decent amount of armor. There's no real catch for the PL, apart from really the black hole. You could call the Raw some catch, but you've got to find the real one first.
Yeah, it can be a bit tricky for the Beastmaster. It does tie up this draft quite well
Yeah.
from TNC. I think it does look a lot stronger. Adroit, they're going to have to work really hard early on to maximize this. There's a very early timer here with Weaver, with your Dazzle, with the Beastmaster. It's just a really non-standard draft, which again you rarely see. I think Adroit has to really show us how to make this work because the timings are fairly tight, but TNC can play for Protect 1. We've seen them do this a lot of times. Just give Gabby space to farm. The PL will scale. And as you mentioned, Adroit doesn't have the best way of dealing with that. The Weaver is not going to be able to isolate the real PL too well, and it can be an issue. So a few things going back and forth there. I do believe I want to say TNC does have the better draft. I think they can stall the game out long enough for it to just have the PL take over.
We'll find out very, very soon. Could really go either way, and it's just going to be one of those very, very entertaining games, and that's exactly what we would ask for to start off this day for us. Of course, we'll go into the game.
Prepare for battle.
Tips coming out, but only one really. No, in fact, Tim's gets. Was it Tim's? It was March that got most of them. Poor March.
Nah, it was they swapped. It was Boomy and Gabby swapping. Then March just gets an unrequited tip. No return tips.
March always gets tips. It's just a given in SEA. They just tip March non-stop.
Oh god.
Kind of intrigued as well, right? Like, do you just go for that Axis build for Ben Soy now? In fact, you probably don't because you have the safe lane Beastmaster right now. So it looks like they want to just try and make it so he avoids that peel in the laning stage. Like, I can kind of see why they would go down that route.
Yeah, it's it. I don't know if it gets any better for the Weaver though in that off lane now. It's still not going to be the best of lanes for that. I feel like the Beastmaster at like level 1 to 3 should be able to apply enough harass in PL. It's still a melee core. You still have the boars early on, but it does look like they're just going to focus on trying to give Natsumi a bit of a better time instead of throwing him up against really tanky heroes in TNC zone off lane.
Because you can just static the lane though, right? Like with the Weaver versus PL, nothing's going to happen. They're just going to trade farm the whole time. Pretty much the same thing will happen up at the top lane now. KP and March not really going to be able to do too much up against that Beastmaster. They'll just trade farm. KP will probably try and harass a bit with Cinderbrew with the Fire Spirit combination, but overall, it just seems like every single lane here will just be an even trading kind of lane. And you even look at that mid lane, John. Like, Gabby's looking to go mid right now on the PL, unless he's going to switch it up. But it does seem that's going to be the case as Armel's down bot on the Kunkka.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup. PL up against Dazzle. Mac is going to be up in that mid position as well. It's not something you see too often. We have seen both heroes take that mid before, though, just not against each other. So I think this is an okay lane for Gabby, honestly, especially with Mac going for the level 1 wave rather than Poison Touch. There's not much harassment. He will shove the wave out, and I suppose Gabby will take level 2 or 3 to start being able to run in and out from the wave effectively. But once he has a level in Doppel, he can kind of just self-purge if that Poison Touch comes out, and maybe even dodge the Shadow Waves as they come out as well.
We'll see how it pans out. Like, there might be a lane switch as well. Like, Natsumi's currently Sakuchiing to the left of the map. He might go mid instead. They may even just send Natsumi all the way top and prefer him going up against that Brewmaster. Ben Sawyer, he's not going to have an easy game regardless of where he goes, in all fairness.
No.
That Beastmaster has really been kind of dealt with throughout this
Yeah.
throughout this kind of draft.
Yeah, I think that's something Adroit expects, though. Like, their games yesterday, Bensoi did not have the best farm. They were actually getting a lot more on Boomy and Mac. So I think they understand what they're putting Bensoi through, and they just play around their supports more. So you look to Boomy to be a bit more active. He's on the Enigma, of course, and we've seen that come out from Adroit before. The Boomy black holes are pretty nice, but it's almost like the Shaker. The timing is a bit slower. You wait for a blink, you wait for Dominator and the Necronomicon, which it does look like Boomy is going to opt for early before anything can happen there. So Adroit, despite having some fairly aggressive heroes with a Tusk and Dazzle, I think they're just going to take this one a bit slower because Boomy will need to build up.
How sad. I just open up the playground again and nobody's playing. That's not a playground. Ah, well. It is it's that musical chairs game. Bit tedious.
Yeah, it's only Armel playing
Armel's just winning.
all by himself.
That's
Yeah.
all Armel cares about. It's, as far as he's concerned, he wins every game by himself. He just keeps trying to win, no matter what game it is. It looks
Yeah,
like March has reconnected for the second time. Hopefully everything's okay, and looks like we do have the go-ahead now. Bounty runes gonna spawn. TNC almost forgetting about those top bounty runes for a second there, but they do go back for them. But it'll be a 2-for-2 trade in the end. Adroit will secure both bottom bounty runes as well. And looks like Natsumi is going to stick around for now at this bot lane. I am a little intrigued that... Never mind. We are going to have another pause coming out. I'm a little intrigued that they're running a bit of a tri lane to start with, but I suppose this is to be expected when you've got a Tusk. Just try and get a very early first blood with that tag team if you can. And in all fairness, with the Eidolons there as well, it can really help in amping up that damage.
Yeah, it can be really potent. I don't think this tri-lane will last too long. I expect Boomy to dip into that jungle relatively quickly. There's not much you can really do against a Kunkka, although level 1's one of his weakest points, but once you hit 2 or 3, it gets a bit trickier to kind of kite him out. This is going to hurt Adroit's top lane specifically. You're going to have Bensoi solo for the most part, and solo up against a Brewmaster, a Phoenix, and even Tim's around, it's not going to be fun for Bensoi.
No, that it won't be. It's a lot of emphasis, it seems, on making sure he doesn't have a good time. But in all fairness, TNC doesn't really know yet that it's not going to be the Weaver up top. So they may end up switching lanes again on the side of TNC if they really do want to run a very aggressive lane up against Natsumi. There's a lot of pings going on for Gavi. I'm not sure what Gabby's done wrong, but you gotta love the fact that every time KP pings, it says divide, divide. Just gotta it can be a little distracting during the cast, I'm gonna say, but it is fun.
Yeah, he just keeps going. I don't know. It's the one thing about TNC when we cast that kind of bothers me, Mike. I'm not sure if you noticed this one, but everyone but KP is in the Tim's guild. So it's just KP repping the OPA, which I know you appreciate because you've seen a lot of that guild, but I'm kind of disappointed not everyone's in Tim's.
Who said I appreciate it? I'm part of the rival guild, John. He should be part of my guild. I also get disgusted when I see that. He may as well have joined the Tim's guild. Regardless. Natsumi gonna show himself down bot now, and yeah, Armel, he's gonna TP. Not interested in dealing with this. Where's he gone, though? Up to top lane. And it looks like KP will bring himself down bot lane. So they definitely don't want to have the Brewmaster versus Beastmaster. I think the Kunkka prefers the matchup anyway. So you can just clear out the balls with Tidebringer constantly. But Bensoi is also going to TP. So Adroit, they are dead set on ensuring they have this laning stage. And that's fair enough. I think it does give him a slight advantage going into this game.
Yeah, you're not going to get as much value from these picks. I don't think it's the most drastic lane switch up though. Like, now you're just going to have to wait for the TPs. We'll see whether or not TNC will want to play that musical chair lane again when tossing the teleports up, but I think after one TP, we tend to see that calm down a bit.
Oh, look at Tim's. He's just being really annoying here up against Boomy. Trying to steal away that big centaur creep. And this is exactly what you do up against a greedy jungle Enigma. You just follow them as the pos 4. Now, mind you, Tim's is taking a lot of damage, but the point is he is just waiting to be able to fish that centaur, but he is now out of vision. And he won't even get XP for that. So that was actually very well played by Boomy. But Tim's is not going to leave him alone. He's just going to keep doing this over and over again.
Yeah, this can be effective in shutting down the Enigma. One thing to watch out for that is that
Mac.
Tim's is not getting EXP.
I'm surprised Mac, though. He kind of left his courier walking back to the base, not realizing that Tim's was chasing down that Enigma.
Yeah, it's a bit of a loss, but I don't think Mac cares too much considering how his lane is going. Just look how pressured Gabby is to find these last hits. He's 7-1 and Mac is 12-3.
And Mac is really abusing this lane quite well. On top lane, Armel does end up going down to Natsumi, who also goes after March now, finding his courier and then finding the kill. CML the one to pick up the Phoenix kill. But up at that top lane, Adroit just finding kills straight off the bat. That is very, very bad news for TNC. And you look at the other lanes, they're not going any better. Like, Gabby's already running back to Fountain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah, it's been a slow start mid. This is giving Tim some space to find some EXP though. So at least you'll probably hit 2 on your Shaker soon. It's not what you want. Mac is getting a little bit too much from this lane. Level 4 now. The damage coming out from him is just super hard. Look at that. He just heals up the wave and Gabby can't dodge.
That's a lot of damage. And now the Poison Sting will be there as well. Mac wants to refresh it. He won't be able to, but man, I didn't expect the Shadow Wave to do that much damage. That is a lot. And Gabby just can't afford to get close to the creep wave to secure CS, because if he does, Mac, he's already waiting with that Shadow Wave, and well, Mac, he finds one more opportunity here, and Gabby's probably just going to die. And even then, like, even without that Shadow Wave, you can always just spam Poison Sting over and over again. I mean, Gabby, he's already going through pretty much the whole set of tangos. He only has one left. He does have a salve available, but this is just going to keep up and get worse.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier for Gabby. This is really what he has to cope with. Like, you know, Tim's is too busy rotating around the jungle. He has been keeping Boomy suppressed just a bit, but it's really not helping Gabby, and this is something TNC will have to correct down the line. They need the PL to find an opportunity to farm as the game goes on.
I mean, even if you bring Tim's into that mid lane, though, like, what's he meant to do? All he can do is Fisher. I just don't think it's going to be enough, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could at least maybe block out the wave a bit and help it shove in deeper, or just kind of rebalance that lane, but there's not too much you can really expect there, and this does mean that Gabby is just going to have to kind of do a slight pull on the wave himself.
That's not what you want. Top lane as well. March does end up going down again. Natsumi with the kill on the Weaver. That'll be his second of the game. Well, CML even getting himself a bottle very, very early on the task, just because he can. And he'll go ahead and bottle some boundary runes for himself on the Radiant side of things.
Yeah, I think that's actually Natsumi's bottle he's just refilling, because he doesn't want to leave the lane to grab those runes. So full bottle backup for Natsumi, and the sustain from the Weaver, the amount of harassment he can pump out with the consistent Shikuchi spam is just great in Armel.
Yeah, he's going to get chased down. Snowball going to be there with the Swarm. Armel copying a lot of damage. He won't die. If Natsumi had been level 5 at that point with level 3 Sakuchi, he may actually have gotten away with that kill. But I don't think he minds. He just keeps expending this regen from Armel, forcing them to sack their economy to just keep buying more regen. Armel is completely out now. I would dare say this is probably the worst start for TNC you could have asked for. The only lane that's seemingly going okay is the bot lane, but top lane again, Armel gonna be in trouble and probably will just be dead here. Natsumi on a killing spree at 6 minutes in. March can't even stand close by to harass as Natsumi just continues to be aggressive.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this tanky lane combination. It's just that March at level 3 just can't do much, and Natsumi going really deep to try to find more.
Oh, Natsumi doesn't dive the tier 1 tower. He was just a bit too afraid of dying there, but now Armel comes back in with the X. March has to be a little bit careful. He's still very low, but Natsumi has to be more careful. Tidebringer hit, going to be there with the Icarus dive and a nice Fire Spirit. Armel does manage to clean up that kill. Meanwhile, though, in the mid lane, Mac, he ends up killing off Tims on the Earthshaker, who did try and come in and help out the PL a little bit, but ended up kind of feeding more gold to Mac. And Mac was going to be fine anyway. They had a rotation coming in from CML. Now Mac getting salved up, back up to full HP. Tims will come into the mid lane to soak some XP here, but Adroit is really starting to get out of control. Back
Yeah,
Tims.
they're finding a bit...
Snowball going to be there. They know they can dive this. Tims has the poison touch on him as well. He'll just die. CMO will happily let Mac take the kill.
Yeah, and the greed of
Bot
Adroit's
lane.
draft is still paying off.
Gabby ends up dying again. Ben Soy now losing his life on the Beastmaster. March falling low as well. Natsumi, he's just all over the map. He'll just follow Gabby wherever he goes, it seems. And, well, KP now going to be in trouble. Doesn't have the split available right now. Timelapse is there from Natsumi, and KP slowly going to be chased down. Does slam the ground. Natsumi falling low, but not low enough to dissuade him from chasing. Malefus going to be there on KP. He continues to try and run away. But there are Necro creeps following him right now, and he has no mana left. He will end up dying. And Natsumi getting a full bottle once again from Ben Soy this time around.
Yeah, I mean, Adroit is just running away with his start. 2-9, a 4K lead before the 10-minute mark. You've got already the early Necronomicon from Boomy, so the push is on. TNC, if they're not careful, are going to lose a lot more space on this map. A lot earlier than they'd expect.
It's just the brilliance of Adroit, though. Just these perfect laning matchups they had. They had such a greedy draft to begin with, and you'd think they would get punished for it, but it's just not the case. It's the exact opposite so far. And Adroit now, feeling like they may as well start pressuring this bottom tier 2 tower while they're at it. This team is well known for finishing games very, very quickly if they have the chance. And it looks like even up against TNC, it's not going to be too different. They'll really just continue trying to apply pressure onto towers. Back March. Snowball going to be there, won't land, but it does force March to Icarus dive away. And that allows Natsumi to get a few more hits into that tier 2.
Yeah, and TNC, they're still trying to hunt down. They do find Mac.
That they do, but he is a dazzle. Bo gonna fly in. Looks like they might have enough, and he does go down to the Tidebringer hit. CML, though, there with Natsumi. They'll try onto Armel, but now the Primal Split will come out from KP. CML will snowball away back onto Armel. The snowball will end up connecting, but now the Weaver being tornadoed up. Here comes Gabby on the Beastmaster, on the PL, but the Beastmaster does get the roar on Armel. They do find the kill. Now Tims also ends up dying. Boomy, he'll find that one. CML trying to run away. Gabby gonna chase him down, and now the Black Hole. Boomy just getting the PL as well. It's a 3-for-0. And Adroit, in fact, it was a 3-for-1. I forgot the Dazzle did end up dying. But you wouldn't really mind that if you're Adroit. You're more than happy to let Mac die for 3 more heroes, especially if that involves 2 cores.
Yeah, it's a really great trade for Adroit and TNC. They're just not even able to get a simple pickoff like that. They have to toss a lot of spells out. They still trade unfavorably. They've got to find some ways to get their level 6s up on the supports. March and Tims. They need the slam and the egg to be up and running. There's just no space.
Oh, Natsumi, just in the perfect place at the perfect time. Gets the courier. Now March trying to Icarus dive away, but Ben Soy with that dominated creep just positioning it perfectly. Top lane, however, CML gonna be in trouble. Will end up dying. Mel the one to pick up the kill there on the Kunkka. And they'll try to finally go after that top tier 1 tower, but they don't exactly siege very quickly, and to make matters worse, you will have Boomy there to defend.
Yeah, it's one of the weaknesses of TNC's draft as well. Their push is not the best compared to Adroit, although it looks like Adroit will just kind of give up that tier 1 top in exchange for a tier 2 bot.
It's an easy trade. You can do it so quick, especially when you have that siege creep there from the Dire side. March is still trying to defend. Great stun out from Bensoy. Now the snowball won't really land this time, but the shards will be there, and March still ticking down from the poison. Mac finds another kill on the Dazzle. That bottom tier 2 is gone. Adroit start making their way into the mid lane, and this is just surgical play from Adroit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They've really started to completely take over the map here. TNC, they've got the level 6s on their supports, but they need other initiation tools as well. They need the blink out from KP. They need the blink out on Tim's, and they're not close enough. KP's prioritizing a soul ring first, just so he can actually cast his spells in the middle of a fight.
It's really concerning. Adroit just still so aggressive right now, looking for another target to go on. I mean, you look at Gabby's farm as well. He's been trying so hard on that PL, but he is currently bottom 4 on the net worth. And speaking of blinks, Boomy just has a blink. What?
Yeah.
Necro 1
like
boots
that.
and a blink.
Yeah, you don't see that, but Boomy, as long as he can land those black holes,
Natsumi.
can really turn these fights whole.
Bot lane, nice snowball safe through the X. The boat is going to be there. Natsumi still goes with the boat, and he will go down here. Egg being committed by March just in case. But CML and Natsumi both losing their lives there, and those are some very important pickups for the side of TNC.
Yeah, those were pretty big. Costly though. Slam and Egg being down means you're probably not going to fight anytime soon. And Adroit, remember, they've got that blink on Boomy. They want to reveal it. I'm pretty sure once these two heroes respawn, Adroit will try to make a play.
They kind of, they don't really need to, but they definitely can if they so choose to. And it looks like they are going to TP mid. Smoke up.
Radiant.
Boomy with that black hole blink now up and they run into that Radiant triangle. Tim's going to get scouted out here. Snowball. He's going to be able to land. Tim's will die. Maybe not. The Fisher is there, but no. Natsumi's going to chase him down with the Sakuchi. CML had the shards anyway. Now KP, understanding he's in the wrong place right now, will run away.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But Adroit, they want to go for more. They understand with the Blink Black Hole, they want to get that big surprise initiation off. And quite frankly, if they somehow wiped TNC right now, they could actually go for a T3 tower if they really wanted to. Mel does X back, has to be very careful because Bensoy does have the roar as well. They slowly just chip away that tier 2 mid, but ultimately will back off.
Yeah, it's
Radiant's top
not
tower
quite the best
is under
opportunities for Boomy. You are seeing a lot more defensiveness from TNC. They've been a lot more disciplined about their positioning, and they're just going to try to take their time. As long as Adroit doesn't melt any further towers, I think TNC is going to be happy. They're giving space for other heroes to farm. They've given March a lane to get some EXP up as well, so you're still finding some stuff across the map, although...
And March might be dead. Icarus dive TPs,
Oh, yeah.
but the Malefice is there.
No.
Yeah. Mac top lane, however, they're going to try onto the Dazzle. Great shards out from CML, however, just blocking them out. Still, they got the boat in. Fisher is there. They will secure the kill. Now CML, the chase will be on. That Tusk is in big trouble, and he will also die to Gabby. In fact, they might even find another. KP, he got the tornado there onto the Bensoy, but we do have a pause. It looks like somebody on the side of Adroit has disconnected, and it will be Boomy.
Yeah, it's great timing from TNC, understanding that the Enigma not being around meant that they could start clumping up and forcing fights. So they're going to find themselves a nice set of kills. there's not much turn opportunity for Adroit. They're too far off, so they're gonna have to take that loss.
Yeah, there's no choices here. Primal Split just about to end. They'll just wait out that tornado. And Echo just being committed, just in case Bensoy wants to play any games. I think at this point, if you are Tims, you don't care about that Echo Slam cooldown. You just commit it every single time you have an opportunity. And in all fairness, Tims is very, very close to that Blink Dagger as well, so he doesn't want to risk dying at all.
Yeah, it's a safe bet, and when you are this behind very early in the game, you will just want to find any kill to bounce yourself back. So TNC finding some chinks in the armor and managing to break it just a bit more open. Adroit, they've got to be careful about splitting up like that. When they reveal boomies in a different lane, TNC will jump.
Well, Boomy is in the bot lane right now. March will scout out those Eidolons. Mid lane, however, an initiation there. KP gets sharded up by CML. He has the help of Gabby around, but Adroit, they just don't care. They're going to start rushing forward, understanding those ultis aren't available right now. Nice roar, but a great fish around from Tims. And that'll block the way. Although Boomy is around, has Black Hole if he wants. He'll hold out. KP going to be very thankful that Tims was around.
Yeah, you're starting to see Gabby become a bit of a nuisance. He does have the defusal up and running, so every single time they chase and he has illusions around, you're not going to have mana for long. And that did cause some issues for CML, although with that, Adroit goes straight to the pit.
Why not? It's an easy Roshan attempt. You know they can't fight you right now. And look at all those units right now as well. Just so much damage coming out. Adroit, give the Aegis over to Natsumi, make him that much harder to take out. Not to mention Natsumi does have the Deso up. And with that Adroit, they could definitely afford to get more aggressive now. But a word of caution, Tims is ever so close to that blink.
Yeah, that's going to be really big for TNC. I mean, just, you mentioned all those summons coming out. It's going to be really bad to get slammed in the middle of that. So Adroit has to be pretty disciplined in their spacing as well fairly soon. But I think they do feel a lot more confident, right? You've got so much more damage coming out here. The biggest thing is that Mac as well on the Dazzle hasn't hit that high point. The biggest point for the Dazzle is level 18 with Bad Juju. So as long as you're not there yet, you do feel like there's a lot more room to grow. And there's a lot of sustain coming out now. The Guardian Greaves are up and running for Mac. So it is easier to keep everyone alive. And yeah, March just showing us the classic Southeast Asian issues. Lag and no reasons here. No excuses.
No. It's alright, March will be back anytime. There he is. But now we have Mac disconnecting. Everyone's just going to disconnect this series, apparently.
Hey, it's a Filipino team versus a Filipino team, you know. It's it's going to be this way. It's going to be this way.
Oh, goodness me. I should have known. I should have known before we came into this. Mac will be back. Luckily, they are reconnecting very, very quickly today. So it's not too long of a wait.
Yeah, here we go. Nope.
No. Armel wants a bit of time here.
It is like lunchtime, so maybe having a quick bite to eat in the downtime as well. That would be nice.
It's always about lunch with you, John.
It's always about it. Well, it's not my fault we start at noontime. You know, it's like everyone else is having good food, and here we are. Although March,
Bot lane, March gonna be in big trouble. He has the Icarus dive. He's just holding out, and now with the Ghost Scepter, he will go straight into that tree line. But a swarm is there from Natsumi. That'll give plenty of vision over to Boomy, who does clean up the kill. Boomy also gonna scout out Gabby, I believe. In fact, did he not notice? Maybe he just barely missed out on that vision. And Gabby sneaks his way into the tree line. Not wanting to jump in front of them, though, of course. It is still very, very dangerous, as you know the black hole is up. TNC have bought themselves... Oh, Tims! Big Echo Slam, but it doesn't really hit Ben Soy. He got a lot of creeps out of that though, so I guess he got some gold. And in all fairness, he does get his blink dagger up out of that, so I don't know if I'd call that bad. It probably was bad, but I believe he was trying to go after Ben Soy.
Yeah, in that sense, you know, with the blink up, you're happier, I guess, but it's another 2 minutes where you're not gonna get that slam. So there is a bit of an opening for Adroit. They did blow the roar on that as well, I believe. Ben Soy did pop it,
Radiant's top tower
so you're not gonna have that, but that's a lower cooldown, and it's still gonna be relatively easy to push into this tier 2 top now.
Natsumi feeling confident. Fisher will come out. Cinderbrew there as well from KP. Won't be enough though. The tier 2 of course will drop. And that's kind of where you would have loved to have that Echo Slam available. But that will not be the case. So you've got another 80 seconds for that to be back up. Now, I'm sure we'll see a huge team fight coming out from TNC when it is available. They probably will just go for a smoke. But Adroit, they are going to make full usage of this time they have. They'll force in the mid lane. They'll actually smoke up now. They might run straight into Gabby.
Oh.
Natsumi will scout him out. Gabby going to go for a run. Does have that double. Boomy would love to just black hole if he needs to, and yeah, he commits it. It's well worth it for that pos 1 kill, although Walrus Punch misses the right target, but it won't matter. Natsumi, he does secure the kill.
Yeah, and again, it's a one-man black hole, but it's on the biggest hero you really want to blow up anyway, so Adroit's still going to be happy with that sort of trade. And TNC, they're going to have to take a step back, keep farming up. You look to March, he's saving up for the Ags on the Phoenix. We've seen that multiple times. The progress is a bit slow. There's not much space for March to really build up. But once it's up, Adroit doesn't have too much beyond Natsumi to deal with the egg, and that's going to make it a lot worse.
You're still losing towers, though, on the side of TNC. Like, Adroit aren't done. They go mid lane, they push the tier 2 tower, and they find it very, very easily. That's all out of towers now gone for TNC, which should really shrink the map quite a bit for them. And it's at that point now, John, where you're kind of running out of time if you're TNC. But they do smoke up. They got the Echo back up. The black hole's down. They spotted out Mac and CML together. But both of those heroes have backed off as well. Or I should say CML is running back up towards the high ground. Tims gets the Fisher into the enchant. And now here comes Gabby. It should be a nice easy support kill here onto CML. But he's going to make it as hard as he possibly can.
Oh.
Misses the shards. He would have died anyway. KP was waiting.
Yeah, it's not the worst here to lose out on for Adroit, and I'm sure they're happy they just tossed the support for that smoke. Tims does spot out Boomy, but quick blink out. Not gonna find that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Have to say it's a bit surprising to see Gabby's build up. Got the Yasha, not going for a Manta, is opting straight for an SNY to kind of bulk up, and can't really say I blame him. It's not the most common thing. We do still tend to see a lot of PLs trend towards that Manta for the dodge. In this case, I think he really just wants to survive and man fight up to really bring the pressure onto Adroit.
Even the status resist is quite nice as well this game from that Sanjin Yasha, right? Like you've got that roar, you've got the snowball. It's quite a bit of lockdown Gabby's been experiencing this game. I can't disagree with that item choice too much. So we'll see TNC, they'll smoke up again. Into the mid lane, the line has been drawn. Black hole gonna be up in 5 seconds from now.
Radiant are scanning.
KP looking for a way into this fight. Tim's going to get a nice Fisher off. Boomy, though, is right around the corner. Now they will get started. Black Hole going to be committed. Does catch 3 of them, but KP does get the split off still. Tims will die preemptively. Now Armel also goes down, and KP just has to run for it. Just run as fast as you can, sir. Not the greatest of team fights there for the side of TNC, and Yeah, they try to go after the Weaver, but they just can't burst him down fast enough, and Boomy, he does not hesitate with the black hole.
Yeah, and with the BKB on Boomy, it's just a guaranteed black hole. That was the reveal, and probably one of the best BKB black hole reveals you could hope for here for Adroit. TNC, they've got to be a lot more cautious pushing up into any sort of choke point now. There's a lot of potency from Adroit with the basically unstoppable black hole in this case, and they've got to play around their slam. They still have their spells. They do smoke up.
They're going to try. They'll check the Roshan pit with that smoke, but nobody's there. Instead, they will run straight into Boomy. It'll be a nice, easy kill on that pos for Enigma. That's all it really is, though. It's a pos for Enigma. He doesn't have black hole anyway, so he doesn't really mind dying. It's not really going to affect Adroit too much. They are still just freely farming on all their cores.
Yeah, and we talk about the Dazzle hitting 18. You are almost at that point, so you're going to be dealing with so much lower cooldowns on all of his items, on the Shadow Wave, on the Shallow Grave. There's just way too much sustain coming out from Adroit, and I don't reckon they've even had anything like a Spirit Vessel on hand to mitigate that.
I don't believe they have, no. No, March doesn't have one. Of course, Tim's doesn't have one. Nobody has that Spirit Vessel, and yeah, there is quite a lot of value in this game for one, but they just haven't had the chance to actually, you know, buy one out. I just don't think you have the luxury right now as TNC to afford an item like that. You could make the argument maybe the Phoenix could, but it looks like March believes the Axe is just going to be that much more important.
Oh.
Top lane, March, speaking of, does get caught out now. Of course, he has that Icarus dive, but he is not going to survive. Just doesn't matter. Natsumi, Sakuchi's passed as he is ghost formed, and just another very easy kill. Adroit, they'll extend their lead now to 8k.
Yeah, it's still looking pretty dominant from Adroit. They are going to be grouping up around a Roche pit now. This is scouted out by a dominated creep, so TNC are aware. They could choose to fight. They still have the slam.
It's going to be a decently fast Roshan if they don't get in there.
Oh.
Black hole going to be there, only catching one, but it is Armel on the Conquer. Boomy now going to have to back off as the rest of TNC are more than happy to go in. KP out there with the primal split. Boomy's still going to be in big trouble in that Enigma, but there's the Shallow Grave for Mac, making sure he stays alive. Now Natsumi coming in. Nice Fisher out from Tim's, blocking them in, and now the Echo coming out, connecting on two. Still a nice snowball save onto Mac, allowing him to get out of that boat flying in from Armel. Now they jump in. It's complete chaos around the Roshan pit, but Armel is falling, and he will end up dying. CML now looking for more. They catch out March with those shards. Ben Soy, those got to control up Gabby. He's doing a lot of damage right now on that PL. Egg has been dropped, but gets destroyed straight away. Ben Soy now getting put in the snowball as Natsumi tries to Sakuchi away and deal with these illusions from the PL. They'll find KP. Ben Soy does die. Gabby is still going, however. He'll find CML as well. Mac is falling low, but does TP out in time. And Tim's, meanwhile, still controlling up Natsumi, but he will die to Natsumi. And it's only really Gabby versus Natsumi left. And both these heroes seemingly just can't die right now, or maybe they can. If Gabby can drain the mana of Natsumi, that would be one way to get it done. But no, he'll give up on that. He'll go back to farming. Natsumi will do the same.
That is a really messy back and forth from both sides. Adroit does pull ahead in the end, and you're seeing the issue we talked about with Mac. He is just keeping everyone alive a lot longer than they should be. 20-second cooldown on Guardian Greaves. Just so much sustain here that TNC has not even bothered to really punish.
You gotta kill that Dazzle off. You have no choice. He's gonna be the first one to die in this team fight. Otherwise, he will just keep everyone alive longer than they should be alive. Roshan now gonna go down. Natsumi picks up another Aegis. And I believe the cheese did go to that Dazzle. Yeah, Mac is holding it for himself. Mac's also building into a Shiva's Guard soon, John, and
Ooh.
Having that slow on that low of a cooldown is really gonna suck for TNC.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous just how much control they're slowly building up. And TNC, again, they've got ways back in, but they've either got to mitigate the heals or kill off Mac.
Shards barely missing out there on KP. He'll run out of there. You look to Gabby, who almost has the full Abyssal up, and perhaps once that Abyssal Blade is there, they might be able to actually finish off that Dazzle or even the Weaver to start the fight off. Although, Boomy, Black Hole, going to be on the PL top lane. He is completely alone right now. He will survive through it. Natsumi, though, is there. Now, nice Fisher coming up from Tim's. Echo is also available. Gabby still surviving, but he is falling very, very low. Poison Touch comes out. Mac following up with Natsumi, and Gabby does end up dying. Now, KP trying to run away with those Primal Split Brewlings. And he should be fine too, but no, they're following the Earth Spirit. KP understands he probably is going to die here. And he will go down. Just off the back of Boomy. Just the man that's not afraid to commit that black hole just whenever he wants. He just used it to buy time for his team to close the gap.
Yeah, and that's all they really need. They just need to be able to hold down one of these big heroes. And you talk about the timing on that Abyssal. It's going to be delayed from that. This is going to allow Adroit to get a very fast push onto the high ground.
Radiant structures are
Glyph will be forced out, but they have a new creep wave coming in. They're not going to mind this at all. Crimson Guard there on Ben Soy. He's thinking about the Raw, but there was an X on RML. Nice shards out from CML, however. And there's no defending this mid-ranks. They are just going to have to let it go down. The question is, will Adroit go for anything else? And the answer is no. They're just happily going to back out after that mid-ranks is taken.
Yeah, there's no real rush. They know the PL's back up. They probably want to look for a pick-off first before committing again. And, you know, TNC does have really strong high ground if the initiation goes well. Slam, Egg, both coming out. Just a lot of strong spells in a tight area. Adroit probably don't want to force that out without the black hole.
I mean, the problem is, though, John, the initiation and the high ground defense hasn't been going well for TNC. It's, Adroit is still finding a way to deal with all of it.
Yeah, it's the fact that TNC always lose one hero outside first. They have to be a lot more careful with how far they allow Gabby to farm, and he's just immediately pulling back. He doesn't want to cross the riverside, which is probably the smart play. Oh, yeah.
He's got an Ags. March does have his Ags up, but that Enigma Ags hurts. Double Midnight Pulse on a black hole. KP gonna get caught out. Raw gonna be there as well. They'd love to get this Brewmaster. He's still alive for now. There's the Egg saving him, March. He brought him in, and now Tim's, he jumps in with a huge Echo Slam, but they still find the Egg. KP and March both die. It's looking really bad for TNC. They'll buy back on KP. Tim's is dead, however, on the Earthshaker. KP, can you do anything? He has the Primal Split. He will commit it. He'll run in, but he can't find a target. In fact, all his spirits are dying. KP, he might die back. It looks like he probably will. And he does go down. Now Gabby being caught out. Boomy has the black hole if he wants to commit it. He does. It's just on Gabby, but it's well worth it. There's no buybacks left, and they'll call GG. They have had enough.
Whew.
And what a performance from Adroit for game one.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the pregame stats. Throughout this year, Adroit have only lost one series against TNC. TNC's draft looked like it was going to be potent. We expected it to be tanky. We expected it to be able to stem the tide, take team fights, but the execution could not come out. Adroit was just hot in their tails every single time and just applied too much pressure, not enough space and time for TNC to get what they needed to take those fights.
With that, John, we are going to head over to a game number 2 between these two. Of course, TNC are going to try and draw out this series if they can. It is MLP Dota and JohnXFire on. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for that Game 2 draft.